Hey guys, welcome to Pradcast episode 1. So in this episode we are going to discuss all about the game slider settings with my friend Mani. We are going to discuss about each slider value, what it does, what he thinks about it and everything. So this is the episode which is going to be a big discussion on what the slider does in the game, and that is what we are going to do. Let's get on to it, and now let's invite Mr. Mani to the discussion. So as you guys know, the ultimate slider discussion featuring the ultimate guy who has been doing R&D for so many months since the release of Cricket 22, Mr. Manigandan. So basically what we are gonna do is, I'm just gonna create a new difficulty and we're gonna discuss about two things here. First is the AI and another one is the batting sliders. So this will be covered in the episode 1. Okay, we'll cover the next physics sliders in the another episode, in the next episode, okay, which will come later. Okay, so the first thing we are going to discuss now is the base difficulty. So tell me, Mani, which one you use and why? Simple reason, nothing else.
I use Legend since that is the difficult one which the game has to offer, and I don't see the point to vary it down to veteran or lower difficulty since this offers the better gameplay.
Okay, but I have seen few people in the PC forum saying that veteran works well or pro works better than that.
I have tried on veteran and even on pro, but I don't. It's just negligible difference. I feel.
Okay.
It's not much.
So you don't see
effect.
AI doing anything different from anything. Other
there
difficulties.
Is some difference. I wouldn't say it's totally nil, but it's very negligible, and mostly when we are bowling anyway, the AI plays its way, so I don't see the point. But when we are when the AI is bowling, I feel the legend difficulty, it bowls better line and length than with veteran.
So it's the accuracy which you are aiming for.
More like the variety. In veteran, there will be lot of variety, but that is lacked in legend. But the overall feel, like how you play a bowler out, that feels better in legend. So I have just stuck with legend difficulty.
Okay. But you said regarding AI playing, but what about us batting? Does it make any difference when you play on pro or veteran in the base difficulty?
As I said, it's very negligible, so I just stick on with this.
Okay, so you are just used to the legend
part. It's not
part.
up to the point to experiment.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so just tell me about striker timing in general, like what it is about, and the default is 50. So what do you have it on and why?
So for AI, the base difficulty value is 50 for all the 4 values.
Yeah, it is
by the game. So
yes.
For the as far as I can understand, if 50 is the default value, so if we reduce it, it will the AI will struggle to time the ball and place the ball consistently.
Okay.
And if we go beyond 50, like 60 or 70 up to 100, then it will better AI their game sense will be better. I feel.
Game sense,
but it kind of gets monotonous, so I don't push the value above 50.
No, when you're talking about the timing, is it the placement they have, or like piercing the gaps and those kind of things, or it's just their timing in general?
No, it's just the timing in general, but the way they score, because it is already monotonous, like the edges will go for fours and scripted some stuff like that. So I try to stick on to the base, and sometimes I even reduce it based on the game
to make
situation,
them
like
kind of stutter in their approach, like initial phase.
Like if I typically get Warner as that immortal man. So when he is going like berserk, I usually lower it to 40 or 30. Then the AI values are more tuned to how the user is bowling and what the experience is user is experiencing and tuning it at the moment.
Okay. So since you have said base difficulty as legend, I'm gonna go with legend, and striker timing is gonna be on 50 only. Okay. Now let's move on to wicket chance. So I think wicket chance is something which has a really good effect on the slider when you play the game. So what do you think about the wicket chance in this? It's on 50 by default.
wicket chance, as we said before, it is on 50 by default.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this one in particular is directly dependent on how capable the user is at bowling to the
Okay.
AI. Like
Okay.
how varied he can bowl, how consistent he is able to fine tune that line and length and stick on to that test match length, so to say,
Okay.
and have the appropriate field, and don't get doesn't get discouraged by that scripted boundaries here and there, and
Okay.
sticks down to the plan, and bowls those quality balls.
So you are trying to say when a person is able to bowl better, then you can have the slider even lower than 50.
Yep.
So
Like
if you are
this
struggling,
is also similar to the striker timing. Like
okay,
if the user is getting wickets frequently, then he may try lowering the values
lowering the
like
value.
40
Okay.
or 30.
Okay.
But if he's struggling to get wickets, like he's just new to the game, or on lower difficulties, then he can try upping the values like 60 on top.
Okay. Okay. So have you tried this on 10 or something and seen
Yeah,
anything like
I
insane
have.
AI? Okay.
Yeah, yep.
What was the
I have tried it on 100, and I have tried it on 10 and zeros.
okay.
So the 100, it will just be like the AI will be on rampage to get wickets. One
Get out.
every way,
Okay.
yeah. Every variation you try, they will be like, oh no, I can't bat. I'll
Okay.
go at or not.
Okay, that at that
And
time it's not about the skills and the other things they have. It's just
no.
about to
It's
get them
just
trying to get out,
they are just
basically.
so hell bent on getting out.
Okay, cool. So, guys who are watching, if you are new, try to increase. If you are someone who knows how to bowl, try to have it at 50. I think 50 works well because
Yeah.
there is a bit of balance.
Only when you're dominating the A with
Yeah,
wickets,
that is
then you
true.
can try
So
lowering it.
if you
Otherwise,
feel
50 is better.
like you're taking wickets too frequently and very regularly, and A is not able to accomplish a certain score for depending on that format, try to decrease it a bit. Maybe go to 45 or 40. Don't go below that for ODIs at least. Because if you wanna make the AI play for a longer time, maybe try to move it to 30 or something for test matches. Don't go below that. If you want to get experimental, that is up to you, but our recommendation would be around 40-45 if you are good. 50 is fine. 60 and 70 if you are like new to the game and want to get a good gameplay out of it. That's all. Okay. So now let's get on to the bowl quality, which is one very interesting one, because we have experimented it with like for a long time, and I also created a new video regarding this. Out of the blue, I just wanted to try something extreme, and it worked out very well. So I'll try to link it up and you can check it out. Let's hear it from Mani as to what he thinks of this one, because we have tried it on
So
100. We have tried it on all the values. We are like experimental with this slider every time. So what value you use and why?
So in this particular value, I didn't try it at 0 before Pradosh's width. So
Okay.
even I tried it very recently. I have always played with 100 bowl quality or 90 based on how they bowl.
Okay.
But with the limited time for the couple of days that I have played, I can surely say that 0 is better than 100.
Okay.
But I feel this one it boils down to how you have skilled the players, like
Okay.
in player creator, how you have skilled the players. I feel because for him, I have seen Pradosh's side when he is bowling, having this value at 0, the line and lengths are better. But for me, I have skilled the particular bowlers based on how I would like them to behave. So for me, 10 I feel is better. So this one, I think it depends on how you have skilled the AI, like under the player creator.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
what I feel.
so you are also talking about the value being at 10, kind of balancing it out a bit. So
Yeah.
do you think, like, since the base is at 50 and the right now the value we use are is at 0,
Zero.
do
Yeah,
you think
around zero.
it would be good at 15 or 20? Is it worth trying out that, or do you think
I think so. As I said, I haven't spent much time with
okay.
this particular slider, but
Okay.
one thing I felt was on rather than the value at 0, when it is around 10 and some stuff like that, the lines are better. Like
Okay.
as I said,
Okay.
in test matches the lines are better, but there were some spraying of whites. Like after
Okay.
up until 40 overs they haven't bowled any buys or whites, but when I kept
Yeah.
the value at 10 they started bowling some whites. But the
Mm-hmm.
overall the length was majority of the line and length was good, but
Okay.
some spraying down the leg side started to happen when I turned it up to 10.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it's up to
So guys, you
experimentation.
can see that the description says increasing the slider will increase the A bowling quality, but it's actually working like a reverse. The value at 0 is working like it should be at 100. So that is something, I don't know whether it's a bug or whether it's meant to be that way. We are not sure about that, but 0 or 10 or something is working fine. So you can try that out and try to vary the values a
I think
bit and see.
I also think one thing is
Hmm.
that since we have skilled the bowlers particularly well in player creator,
Okay.
when we reduce this ball quality value, I
Mm-hmm.
think it reduces the impact the game has to put on that particular player. Like
Okay.
say for Pat Cummins, he is like 90 overall.
Okay.
When he's given no impact from the game, that is 0, I
Okay.
think he just bowls like how
How he is skilled.
how he
Oh,
has
that is
skilled.
that is
That's what
actually
I feel.
interesting.
Yeah.
That is a good point actually. So, in that sense, it actually makes.
I think this one is similar to that misinput. Like
Yeah,
0 becomes more
yeah, yeah.
more
We will be discussing
controllable.
about that as well. But
Yeah.
right now, I think what you said, Raul, actually makes sense because when the skills are set in a certain way and
Yeah.
bowl quality is set at certain point, the impact they have on the skill set, okay, that actually is as a really good information. I feel that is
Yeah.
interesting. Okay,
Like
cool.
what I can interpret is that
Hmm.
if we set the value at 100,
Hmm.
the game takes control of the bowler than the bowler taking using the
Yeah.
variables present in that
Nice.
particular match.
That's a really good thought on that because yeah, that actually makes sense when you say that because when a person is highly skilled, like say Ashwin or someone, you will want them to pitch consistently in that line, trying to drift and turn and trying to get that bounce off the pitch if it's like medium or hard. So when that is being done, you feel like Ashwin is really bowling to you,
Yeah,
and
with that
because
limited time that I
yeah.
have faced, Australia, I really felt like Lion was bowling like
uh,
how I have skilled him rather than just
yeah.
monotonous off-spin
Oh,
bowler
you
that
can actually
preset that the game has.
you can reskill licensed players as well.
Yeah, you can reskill their skills, but you cannot
Change the
changes
styles
styles and
and stuff.
stuff like
Okay,
that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Okay, cool. That was a really good one. So run rate again. This one something which varies with
This is
formats.
also user dependent
Yeah,
as
exactly,
like that wicket chance.
exactly. So
Like
in
if
the
you are
hmm,
leave many open spaces, then you can try lowering the run rate so that it gives you a better test match experience.
explain. Okay.
And in ODIs you can leave it at 50 and challenge yourself to bowl to the
Have you
like
tried
this.
this at 100?
No, I haven't, because I have always felt like I have been demolished by the A, so I just never felt the need to go up 50.
Okay, cool. So what is the values you use for different formats in this?
I usually play test, so
Yeah, you
it's
play test
always on
matches.
50. But
Oh, you use it on
some
50. Okay.
yeah, it's always
Mm-hmm.
on 50.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when like that Warner scenario, when they go berserk, I'll reduce it to like 40 or 30,
Okay.
depending on the game situation.
So for me, it's different. You know that because I
Yeah.
use 20 for test matches when I play, and for ODIs, 50 actually hits the spot fine, very well. So you can try that out, and there was need to increase this slider for cricket 19, but they have made the AI play better now. It's not great, but it's good. So
Yeah.
50 works fine. If you want to challenge yourself and make the AI get 200 plus kind of score, try to increase this. But wicket chance, if you keep it at 50, they will eventually lose wickets now and then. So you will have the thought of breaking that momentum and breaking those partnership and stuff. But If you want that challenge, try to reduce wicket chance and increase this and see. That combination will also work, but only if you are okay with AI owning you. That is one thing you have to remember.
That is the disclaimer you have to accept.
Yeah, because AI can hit the shots wherever they want to. That is something which is very much noticeable. And if the ground is small, run rate at 50 is fine, or even 45 would be okay, because just flicking over certain region they can hit boundaries and sixes and everything very easily. So this one, it depends on the person totally, what they want from the AI. So just experiment whatever you want, because Money, as he said, is using 50 for tests, so something is working well for him in that value. But for me, it's like making them defend more and miss and stuff, so I play on 20. That is my thing. Other formats,
I haven't bowled much, so I think
okay.
I used to play a lot on 22.
You used to bowl. I know that.
Yeah, but I haven't bowled much, in the recent months, so it's just on 50.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it just
all these 4 values, as we have repeatedly said, it's totally dependent on how the user is bowling and the user is batting.
I mean, that's the whole concept of custom difficulties, right?
Yep.
Because the kind of gameplay you want, that's what you want to extract from the values as well. The values you add into
try to describe what and how each value goes about, so that you can customize your values.
So the thought is always to try to explain what the slider does based on our own experience. Again, guys, this is not something which is like a final thing. So we are not anywhere
it's
representing.
Not like they have given a manual for each
we are
slider.
not representing Big Ant in any way. We don't know what the slider actually does, behind the game. So it's all the things which we experience when we play the game. That's all. So this is not the final thing. Like, this is what it does, and we know it. This is what we coded it for. It's not like that. We just are saying our own experience, because we have been playing out with the sliders for a very long time now. Even Cricket 19,
this
Ashes
is like
Cricket,
the third game.
Yeah, exactly. Ashes Cricket, every game since the slider settings were released, it's been like we have to use this to make the gameplay to our own experience. So that is what it is. So AI done, guys. Now we will move on to bowling, because bowling, there is one value which I am interested about. So base difficulty here also legend, Money?
Yeah.
For bowling, and thin edges and other stuff, if you want to enable it, you can enable it for automatic appeal and stuff, which we are not much interested in. But what we are interested in this one is spin difficulty is one, then bowling line sensitivity is another one. So spin difficulty is basically in order to achieve ideal input, how much difficult it will be for you. So if you are playing the standard thing, the green zone, that will be reduced. So if you are playing in classic, again the green zone, in the circle will take the delay. So that is the only thing. And the ideal window size for release and foot plant, it's on the jump and release thing. So you can decide what you want on that, because I think I have it on 20 and 20. Because I want that green zone to be visible to me, rather than it being a last thing just before the red for no ball. So I want that green zone to be visible to me, so I have it on 2020. What about you, Money, in this
I also have that 15 and 20. I
okay.
use.
So if you put hardest, it's 0-0. So I don't think that should work well for you. But spin difficulty is
like crazy good.
Yeah, spin difficulty is on 100. So maybe reduce it to 70 or 80 depending on your own preference.
I personally use 60, since I don't like flicking the stick too much.
Exactly.
So it's just based on how you want.
So you use pro controls for spin as well, or you use standard? Okay, so pro only. All right. So coming on to bowling line sensitivity, what do you think about it, and what's the value?
I used to think like how sensitive the left stick when we are bowling. I think that's what I feel. So I used to have it on 100. But sometimes I feel it just becomes too monotonous. So whenever that I feel while bowling, I try to reduce it and then increase it. So it's like a never-ending scenario with this value.
All right.
So yeah.
So what do you think actually happens at 100 and 0? Just tell me the two variations so that we can work out what values people can use.
So when the value is at 100, I feel when we are pushing down the right stick on pro controls.
Okay.
Like if you are trying to hit that four stump line for a right hander, if you are flicking it just slightly to the right of 12,
Okay.
I feel it is more sensitive than when it is on 0. Like when the value is at 0, to to get the ball in that four stump region, you really have to push the stick like around 2 or 3 o'clock,
To
like
push
that
it.
wide to make it
Yeah. Okay.
to make it
Go
go in that
outside
fourth
of.
stump.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But when the value is at 100, I feel it is easier, it is more sensitive per se.
Mm-hmm. So the
It is more
precision is more
sensitive.
at 100.
Yeah, the
Okay.
precision is, don't say precision, because the user precision will come into picture as well, because
Okay. Okay.
when
I mean,
when
they
the
have
value is
to
at
get the
100, you might
angle
try
right though.
to
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
you may mentally try to hit that first stump, but
Mm-hmm.
physically you can have that human error go in fifth
Yeah.
or
True. True.
straight.
True. True. True.
So that will also come into the picture
But
with the higher values.
thinking about this, I was thinking whether skills have an effect, like you said. On 0, the skill sets plays a role, or 100. Would that make any sense out of this? Like you said for the bowl quality in AI.
I don't yet know the the
Okay.
yeah,
But
I don't
you
know
just
how
have.
actually it affects, so
Okay, okay.
it would
So
be too early
you
to say.
just know that the inputs, the values, it's more
Yeah,
to the user benefit
yeah.
than the game
This
doing
one I
something
feel it's more than the AI and skills. It's more physical in
physical
the
in
game
the
world
input
value, I
we
feel.
give. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool, cool, cool. So now coming on to the big one, which is the batting. So base difficulty, I'm not even gonna ask. It's on hardest. So footwork is gonna be on because we play on pro controls, guys. So we are gonna be discussing related to that standard and stuff. I'm not sure about how much effect it will have while you're playing the game, but the discussion for batting will be done for the hardest difficulty with pro controls being played. Okay, so shot replacement is not going to be on. Ball marker display time. So first thing I would like to ask is, what do you use? You do use aerial marker, or you use pitch marker, or pitch marker with the length color thing? I don't remember the term there. So what do you use?
I personally use the pitch marker since Cricket 19 came out.
Okay.
Whenever that became possible, I just turned off that color thing.
Okay.
I think
Cool.
it's called bowling ball
Yeah.
marker.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like that that you can just see the color of the ball and decide your
And respond
footwork,
to that.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
see the shade around the ball to pick up the line. I feel it's too easy, and
Yeah.
uh, with this pitch marker you're always guessing the length first, whether to go on the front or
Okay.
back, and and it only shows the area where it's gonna pitch, so you're always guessing which line, whether it's gonna come in or go out. So
Exactly. So like,
that's why I personally feel pitch marker is better,
okay.
harder, I feel.
So just like Mani said, even for me, pitch marker turned the game around for me, because when I was using the aerial marker, which is calling the bowling ball marker, I think now, that one, you always see the color. You always wait for the color to pop up, and you're not watching the ball closely. But with pitch marker, what happens is you are bound to see the pitch, as to where it is pitching and what it is doing. But when you use pitch marker, what happens is you want to watch the ball closely enough that you want to see the variation that comes off the bowler's hand. Yeah, it's not that precise as to how they are holding the seam, what they are doing with the ball and stuff. It's not like it's visually very clear, because the ball can be cross seamed, but out of the hand it will come as an outswing. That is how the game is designed right now. We would like it to be more precise, like the perfect release, the length and everything, where they release the ball. Those animations can get better, but once you
It is
start,
what it is, and you just have
yeah,
to take
exactly.
what
So
we got.
once you are used to watching the ball closely, you can also determine what the type of variation the ball is. So you start reading the delivery much better than when you are using alien marker. So that's the only main difference why we started using pitch marker after it launched, because even that was not available at the start, I think, like a separate option.
Yeah.
So pitch marker eventually evolved to something which can be used separately, and that changed the game for both of us.
Yeah, I would also suggest when you're using pitch marker, don't have that pitch length marker like that.
Pitch length marker, yeah, that's a term I
Yeah,
forgot. Yeah, length marker,
yeah,
what
that
it does is it has the pitch marker, but it will show the color, like yellow is
yeah,
for
it's
full green,
basically like that.
aerial marker, but on the pitch.
Crossover of aerial
Yeah,
marker with pitch
exactly.
marker.
So even that
So just
can,
have a generic pitch marker so
yeah,
that you're
which comes
always
in black.
guessing.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
comes in black, and it's very effective because when you see some color, immediately your brain starts saying play this shot. So when you get into that one, then you are not able to create your own game around it, because if you see a good length and you are like, I'll play back foot because it's a hard pitch or something, then you are tuned to playing the same shot again and again. So
Yeah, I mean, with that you will miss out on both scenarios. I feel you will miss out on genuine misses where you are playing down the wrong
yeah,
line,
true.
but on the other hand, you will also miss out on better shots you could have played if not for that see color and react kind of
Exactly,
scenario.
exactly. That is a really good point. Yeah. So now moving, what's the value money, by the way? What do you
I
use?
used to have it on 10, but recently I have switched it to 0 since the batting has got bit easier with the
Yeah.
patches.
Okay. Okay.
So right now it's on 0, but yeah,
Cool.
it is user
So
dependent.
if you guys are new to batting, I would recommend 30, because you get enough time to watch the ball closely and respond to the marker, and you when you determine the length, you know what kind of shot you want to execute, and once you read the ball, you know where to execute that shot to. So that combination works very well. So take that to 30 and reduce it as you get better at the game. We are at 0 because we are used to playing the game for a very long time. So 30 should be fine for startings. If you are like used to the game, try it at 15 or 10 or something if you want more time to watch the marker. I mean, he is talking with test match in perspective. Even for test matches I use the same thing, but for ODIs I think I need more time to play proper shot, because we can't keep
Right.
leaving the ball and defending everything.
Yep.
So at that time you need that extra bit of time to play the shot. So around whatever value makes you feel
You
comfortable,
feel
go with that.
comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. So early shot, late shot timing, both things, what does it do and what values?
Okay, the both these are bit of like polar opposites to each other. The
Okay.
early shot timing is one where the game compensates all the values that you are all the shots that you are playing early. Like say,
Okay.
I would like to just imagine like the ideal being a broad region,
Okay.
and if you are getting early when the
Hmm.
value is at like 10 or 15, the early
Hmm.
shot timing,
Hmm.
it will just compensate to the just imagine like a slider, visual slider,
Hmm.
where it will just compensate up to 15% of your early shot,
Okay.
15% of the region. That's what
Okay.
I feel.
Okay. So
And as for late
hmm.
shot timing, like if the ideal value is 0, if
Hmm.
you are getting like 5 or 10, and if you have the value at 10, then it will consider that late shot as the ideal shot since you have the value at 10. So
Okay.
it's like
So it's like creating a region based on the value you give them
yep.
around ideal.
It's like a fallback,
So
kind of values.
where do you think okay timing? Because that is one area which we know that irritates a lot. Because
Yeah, okay. I mean, from the batting timing feedback, sometimes even late shots are displayed as okay.
okay,
So,
yeah, yeah,
so that's an issue in the game itself. But
yeah, okay,
yeah, the okay will fall under the early as per logic. So,
ah,
um, for starters, I feel it's better on 10 or 5, something like that, and
hmm,
try to reduce one by one till they feel comfortable.
hmm,
Late, I feel if you're playing on high pace, then I would suggest like 15 or 20, something
yeah,
like that,
yeah,
and then reduce it as try to challenge yourself more and more.
yeah. So, like Mani said, early shot. So, one thing I would try to add is early shot. Mani said 5 and late shot 15. But what I will say is, if you are someone who approaches the shot very early, then you can increase the early shot window. If you are guy who responds immediately and starts playing the shot very fast, So early
Yeah,
shot will help in
I
that
also would
aspect.
like to add that what value you have on ball marker will directly impact the values that you are gonna have at early and late.
Yeah.
Like if you are gonna have a 0 as ball marker like we do,
Hmm.
then you will inevitably play the shot late since you are
Hmm.
already seeing the
Exactly.
ball late.
Exactly.
So in that case you wouldn't really need
Yeah.
early shot timing. All
True.
you would
True.
need is more time to react. So then you will
So
try to
then the late
increase the
window
value
comes into
that
play.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The late shot comes into play.
So these two values are directly dependent on how well you are seeing and how early you are seeing the ball.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I feel.
So early will depend only on people who are new again. Late shot, like we said, when you are already seeing the ball late, marker late, you are going to respond to the delivery late as well. So just increasing that timing makes it easier for you to play a shot with that late window
It will
as an
compensate
advantage.
for that 5 to 10% of late shots. It will be
Exactly.
translated as ideal for you. That's what
Exactly,
it does.
exactly. So that is something which you have to make sure that it works well for you, and the values, it's just like your preference. So like we said, early shot go to 5 or 10, late shot 15, 20, around that should be fine. So if you want challenging sliders, then yeah, you can do whatever you want, but we are suggesting it for people who want to play the game and not get irritated very easily, because this game can get to that
On
area
your
where you
nerves
can
easily.
get irritated very easily. So these are the values for that. Now short timing difficulty, what it does actually, and what should we have it at?
So short timing difficulty is, this is one where it's actually in the game it is described well.
Hmm.
The higher the value, the harder it gets to get
To,
that sweet ideal timing.
I hope this doesn't work the other way as well, like zero if you go.
No, it
So-
hasn't. I have tried it. It hasn't. It does
okay.
work as intended,
So
and I feel most of the people, I think it would be good around
hmm,
70
hmm.
onwards. They can try increasing it like on 5 or 10s and as they
Okay.
play.
Okay, so you
70
recommend
will be
it
a
to
good,
be on
yeah,
70 initially.
yeah.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool.
I have seen people play, on 56, I think,
Oh,
in
okay. So
Planet
like
Cricket
Planet
Forum.
Cricket
Yeah,
Forum. Okay, okay.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I feel that is too, easy. I
Okay,
think 60 or 70 would be a good starting point for beginners.
okay.
You know,
60. I think
uh,
60 should be a good one, because you can
yeah.
have
I
addition
mean,
of
when you
10 and
have
10.
far too lower values, you will also inevitably get bored of the game
Board
and
of the
won't
game.
play.
True.
Yeah. So you have to have a value like that is challenging but is doable. That's
Yeah,
the
true. That
ratio that you have to keep pushing
that's
on.
like this.
And
That's like the thin wall between frustration and enjoyment.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you recommend 60. So 60
yeah,
should
as a
be a good
starting point.
starting point. Yeah. Good. 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 Okay. Advanced shot timing. Is it something you use? And
Yeah,
okay.
I use it when spinners come on.
Okay.
But I don't play it far too often, so I just have it like 60 or 50.
All right.
Yeah, since I don't exploit the shot far too much, I just
Okay.
play it on reactionary basis. I just have it at 50 or 60, since
Okay.
I already play it like very very,
Very rarely. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. 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 Cool. So 50 or 60 in this. Cool.
yeah.
In this you
That's
can use 60.
unless you start exploiting, then you have to increase the values.
Yeah. True. So advanced shot 50. Okay.
Yep.
Striker skill bonus, and what is it? What it does?
I don't think this one actually affects the gameplay
Much.
by any means, so I
Okay.
just have it at 0, which is the default.
Okay. I think I have it at 5, because I just
Yeah,
wanted. I felt like it was feeling lonely and just wanted to add some value to
yeah.
it. So I have it at 5, but like
This one
Mani said.
I don't understand, and even I don't think the
Exactly. I
developers
think even
understand what it is
exactly.
supposed to
I
do.
don't think even began to understand what it actually does. We just added it just because
Yeah,
they
even
felt
the
like it is a cool
description
term.
itself is very perplexing to
Yeah,
understand. So I
exactly.
just have it at 0.
So now the interesting one, foot placement
Yeah,
difficulty, with the one which Mani keeps me saying, don't
yeah.
think about yourself like a very good player. Try to reduce and play and enjoy the game. So that is one value which he keeps saying, but I don't. I played on 100 and I get frustrated
He's
and I
always
alt F4.
adamant and tries to
No,
restart the
not
game
adamant.
infinity
I'm just
times.
good at the game, guys. You have to understand the difference. There is something called being good at the game and being
which we all don't understand, but this one is clearly an evidence.
Yeah, true. But what do you use this at? What is the value?
Since this one, it's like almost like that. When we are bowling, we pull down that left stick. No, this is like that one. I feel the foot placement and shot timing go hand in hand. So if you're gonna have shot timing, if you want foot placement to be more more impacted on the shot, then you have to balance it likewise. I personally like timing to be to have better impact than foot placement. So I have timing at 100 and foot placement at 80 myself. You can if you want the reverse, like you want foot placement to have a better say on the shot than the timing, then you can try 90 foot placement and 80 shot timing, which will translate to better foot difficulty.
Balances each other out. But do you feel like the foot placement is being done well, like properly in the game?
This is one which directly impacts all the irritating edges in the game. So I just never go. So I just never go above 80. But recently I have tried to increase it to 85 or 90 to challenge myself, and I have liked it since we have balanced out all the other variables using sliders. So I have started to play on 90, but I feel 70 above 70 to 80 is a good range.
Okay. For people who are very new to the game again, because if you are someone who has played for a long time,
this particular values has no say if you are going to play on standard. That also you have to
exactly. But
since you are going to be pointing the direction.
One more thing I would like to add is lot of issues have been there in the game regarding foot placement, because the animations are very limited as to the input we give versus the animation which is already created in the game. So foot placement as such will have only the impact when the animation and the input you give both go hand in hand. Otherwise the game will do whatever it wants and you can get a result which is not in your favor, which might not appeal to you when you obviously restart or alt F4 the game, which is happening quite frequently for us. But they have to get this right and we don't know when it will happen.
It's not as crisp as the short timing has been worked on in this
exactly.
Most of the time I have even seen other people playing, and most of the time when you're playing on offset, the best you will get is good footwork. I have never seen people often getting good or ideal. Most of the time people will get okay and ideal. So when the game itself,
one thing I will really want to add is people who use that timing mark, like what is that called, timing feedback. That is something you should not depend on at all. Okay, when you see something in that, there is like an error since Ashes cricket. I think it's never been dependent, and it's still in the stage where what it shows is has nothing to do with the shot we have played. So don't depend on that. Always I recommend watch the ball, and when the connect is made off the bat, try to judge it yourself as to what kind of impact you have made on the shot. So when you start doing
try
that,
to be your own judge.
When you start doing that, then eventually you get to become a better batsman than when you started it. So that will happen. It's a process which will take time, but eventually you reach a stage where you know what you're doing and what the shot is you're executing it in a way that it actually has an impact. Because if you see the window and you start learning the game through that, you will never end in a stage where you can learn the game better, because that doesn't teach you at all. Okay, that is the only thing I would like to add in this. Now, ball quality influence.
Okay, this one I feel the higher is better, as evident from other values as well. I think a good starting point would be around 70 to 80. What this slider basically does is how impactful the ball is gonna be on the shot you're playing. Like if I say there's an outswinger on fourth stump and you try to play a cover drive, if the ball quality is on lower values, then irrespective if the ball jacks a lot or doesn't jag a lot, you will still connect the shot.
Okay, jacking back in or out? What are you saying in that?
Jag back out, yeah.
Jacking out, okay. Seaming out.
Yeah, seaming out.
Okay.
So irrespective if the ball does too much or does little, you will inevitably connect will be there.
Okay.
But if the value is higher, then you will see a little bit genuine misses
and stuff. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
So I think a good starting point would be around 70 to 80. Then you can increase it.
Okay. Starting
I
point. I
personally don't like the value at 100. So that's also
use it at. You use it at?
I use it at 95.
95. Okay.
Yeah.
So starting point is 70, guys. If you want to increase the value and make it challenging, 95. But I use it on 100. I don't find it, often.
He's godlike as we already mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. No issues there whatsoever. So for me, foot placement is another thing I use it on 100 because I want to, make the game playable at that level. It's not going to happen. I'm a foolish guy. As you can already see from the games I play, but we have it on 100, and even ball quality I have it on 100. But starting point, foot placement 70 is good, ball quality 70 is good. Okay.
Yeah, I also feel like if you are gonna have the value of foot at 70, then you can try to have the ball quality at 80 and likewise.
Okay, you are again saying these two are interconnected, so you can balance them out.
Yeah, they have inverse direct. They have like a direct proportional kind of thing. Like
okay. If you increase that, this will
just have the value. Range 5 or 10 between
plus and minus. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Ideal power boost. This is, I think, again to the user only, right?
Yeah, if you are this one in particular is directly on what short force the user is using. Like if you're gonna play out short force at 30 or 40, then you have to have that rewarding feeling when you actually connect the ball in ideal. I usually have it at short force at 40 and try to balance it out with 10 or 15 depending on the size of the ground.
Okay. Yeah. So guys who don't know, the short force which Mani was talking about it's in physics.
Physics,
yeah, area. So that will be discussed in the next one, which is just. It will be done in the same video, but we'll just edit it out to make it as 2 videos. Okay? So that is the way it is going to be. So ideal power boost depending on
this is more dependent if you're going to play short format cricket a lot, then you want to increase this value.
You want to make yourself feel that you are getting rewarded. So for that, the ideal input is very much needed, and I think I use it at 10 or something. I don't remember.
10 is a good place.
Yeah, 10 is a really good place because getting everything on ideal is not easy. So if you can achieve that,
it shouldn't be easy.
Exactly. So if you can achieve that, then you need to be rewarded for that shot. But if you are hitting it to the fielder, that is a different thing. But if you are placing it to the gap perfectly, I think you should be rewarded with a boundary or 6 or anything, because it can actually take that extra feet or inch to clear that rope as well. So that also
you want to have all the other sliders trying to making it hard for you to hit ideal, but when you do hit ideal, then
you should be
rewarded.
Exactly. That's the reason. So poor input, power penalty.
This one I just have it at 80. I feel that's good. I think 100 is a little bit too much, I feel.
Yeah.
So I just have it at 80.
So this is one where when you hit a poor
time
input
ball,
shot,
like early or late.
Yeah, poor input shot, then how much the ball will travel. So that power penalty means that the lack of power will come when the timing is bad. That's all. That is the slider, and I have it at 100, or you can have it at 90 or 70 like Mani said. So it totally depends on whether you want that impact to have in the gameplay, or you are like, no, I would like it to be very normal, then try to reduce it even further. It depends on you again. So power boost timing window, do you use it?
Yeah, I do use it. I have it at 5 for test and 10 or 15 for shorter formats.
Okay.
What this does is, it basically increases the region that you have to generate power onto a particular shot, like an aggressive grounded shot or a lofted shot. It
So
basically increases the timing window of the power
okay, that
which
thing.
you are able to get.
So does it work for normal shots as well?
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
it works for all
Okay.
shots. I just
Just gives you
all
a
the
boost for the
yeah,
shots. Okay.
yep.
So it's like a
I
boost
have
in
it at
general. Okay.
yeah. It is on it is present on all shots, but mostly on the aggressive grounded shots
Aggressive
and
grounds,
lofted
you will
ones.
see that difference very well.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So full toss is something I think people should use because when the
Yeah.
full toss happens and it's coming at a pace, you want to give it back to the bowler. So make
Yep.
sure that you have it on 21 or 20. I think I have it at 20 only because
Yeah.
I
You have it
used,
at 20, and I have it at 30 because I feel
yeah,
full tosses have to
because
be punished.
for me what I used to have is 10 or something. When then money
Yeah,
was
you
like,
have
dude,
it at
even
10.
the default is 21, dude, what
Yep.
the heck are you doing? So I increased it to 20 after that, and it is definitely required, guys, because in the death overs, if they make the mistake of bowling the yorker which is turning into a full toss, then you need to hit that shot with the timing, because we play it on higher pace, so timing it also becomes difficult. So we want that benefit on our side, so that's why 20. Okay.
Yep.
Now coming on to the one area which is experimented a lot, but still
Yep. The
we
two
cannot
most
arrive at values which
experimented values.
actually makes us feel good.
Yep.
So let's discuss good input first thing.
Good input. For these three values, I just like to imagine that how much percentage that edges are gonna happen. Like if you
Ah,
have the value at 10,
okay.
uh, I just like to imagine that 1 out of 10 good input shots, it will get an edge.
Yeah. So this was one thing which Mani was talking about when we had the voice chat way before, and
Yeah.
that was very interesting to me because what he said at that point made real sense. Like what he said is, when you play certain amount of shots with good timing, these many the value you have will be the amount percentage of edges which will happen amongst those good timed shots. Am I
Like
right, Mani?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like
So
if the most that it can go is 100, so you can just imagine like a percentage.
yeah,
So if you have like 10 as the value, then out of 100, you'll 10% of your good time
good
shots
time
will
shots will get
be
edges, will
will
get the
be
edges. Yeah.
yeah.
So this I think this find is really interesting because edges is an area which you kind of feel whether it's okay or not, because that
Yeah.
values are
You
okay.
also you also have to be like a cat on the wall. Like
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
want no edges, and you also
You
don't
also
want
want
too
edges
many
to
edges.
happen, but they just have to be genuine, that
Genuine.
it hits the proper animation part of the bat, because if it
Yeah.
doesn't, that's where we feel like, dude, the game is lacking in this. So that this thing I feel made more sense. So these three values, okay, good, and poor, I think you
Mm.
should experiment with it, but
Mm.
keep in mind the default values 10, 40, and 100. So lessening
Yeah.
it will make it better for you.
Yep.
Getting it more, you are moving towards a frustrating area. So it depends on what you want to achieve out of the edges. But
Yep.
once I actually tried the good being on 30, okay being on 70 and stuff, some matches I wasn't getting edged anywhere. I don't know what was happening, so it was weird. But there is a weird thing with the game where you restart with the same thing. The next time you
Yeah.
are
Then
batting,
it's a
it's
different
like
game
edge
altogether.
fest. It's like an edge fest, and everything starts to edge. Everything goes to the slip, cordon, gully, and everything. So it totally depends on what you want to achieve with edges. So good.
Yeah.
What would you
So
recommend?
yeah. So for these three values, right now I have 8 for good,
Eight,
36 for okay, and 80 for poor.
80 for poor.
So
Makes
yeah.
sense.
So for poor, like early or late, 8 out of 10 times I'll be uh,
You'll
I'll
get
be on
out
the edge.
8%.
Yep,
Yeah.
80. So okay, I feel 40 is the default, but somewhere I feel when it was on 40, there is a lot of through the bat and stuff like that start to happen for me
Yeah.
personally. So I just like to have it at 36, and for
Okay.
good I have it at 8. Depending on how I play, I just increase or decrease the value.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay is another area which is like very sensitive. It's like
Yes.
something which where you will
Too
say some
much
words and
will become
okay
too much will
becomes
become
frustrated
expressed,
very.
and too less you will be like godlike. So you have to balance it out.
Yeah. So it's very sensitive area. Okay input. So try to get the value to a zone where you are feeling comfortable with it, because okay happens quite frequently when you are batting.
Yeah. I
So try
think
to
30 would be a good starting point,
yeah
and you can, increase like 1 and 2 stuff like that
yeah
as you
exactly.
play.
I think 28 also will be good, because in the 20s
Mm.
zone you might be in the zone where you can play your shots and as other
Yep.
stuff as well. But as you increase it, the sensitivity towards the edges will increase, as we discussed. So try to keep it in a zone where you're comfortable with it and not getting frustrated. That is very important, because this can get into the zone where you don't want to play the game
Make it or
anymore.
break it.
Yeah, exactly. So don't go above 40 unless you are
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, like him.
Because once I tried it on 45 for a very long time, and I was getting good results, but the issue again comes to, I don't mind
Lots
getting
of
out.
restarts.
No, I don't mind getting out frequently, but the issue is when it happens to through the bat, I'm like, I don't want to play the game anymore. I
Yeah.
want to uninstall it. So
Yeah,
that's
that okay input, I feel it is so, volatile on that
so
through the bat and sliding and
exactly.
stuff like that.
And
So
you don't know
I don't like to push the values.
what values does what you never know, and even I don't know big hand knows. So that's like, I think the slider values is something which it is never revealed by big hand as to. It's like a Coca-Cola ingredient, like recipe, I think, which is kept in a safe. Nobody knows where the safe is. Nobody has the key as well. I don't know. So it's been the case, and okay happens quite often. So try to balance that out. Poor is not that
Try
much
to
of an
have
issue.
okay as okay.
Okay as okay value. So poor input is you can reduce it slightly, because 100 might get too much, but
Yeah, I can start it around 60 or 70. I
60
have
or
it at
70.
80. Yeah.
Okay, 60 or 70 starting point, guys. So starting point, whenever we say, it means people who are new to the game and want to have a good game out of it. Because if you get into the challenging part immediately after getting the game, you might not want to play the game, because the game has more depth in it, like it or not. So so in that sense, poor input 60, increase it as you feel comfortable, because once you
Yep.
start hitting those timing, always try to guess it yourself as to whether you timed it well. If you are not, if you have no clue as to what timing actually means, then try to use the timing window assist like feedback, and try to learn as to what ideal means or what good means and stuff. So eventually try to remove that feedback from your mind. Take some time, but learn that that thing of guessing the timing yourself rather
Yeah,
than
he's
depending on the
like
feedback.
Pradosh is at the point that he doesn't even use the feedback. I am at the point where I just, I
Yeah.
usually hide the HUD. So whenever I get dismissed, I just show HUD and see
Yeah,
which area I
exactly.
lagged in, so that I can understand.
So
Just
for
for
his
dismissals alone, I use.
so for his heart, he just makes it sure that okay, he timed it badly,
Yeah,
so he got out. He just wants that for himself, nothing
yeah.
else. So he uses that.
Validate my
Yeah,
errors.
exactly. So low striker, high striker. Another thing which was discussed by him, which was
Yeah.
interesting. Tell me, Money.
So what this does is low striker basically means all the tail ender batters
Okay.
they have lower striker skill,
Okay.
and high striker means the proper batters. I feel.
Batters. Okay.
So ideally you have to reduce the values for low striker and increase the values for high striker. So personally I have it at 5 for low striker and 30 for highest striker. Okay, in this low striker, if you have the value at 5, it will reduce the edges by 5%. You can just roughly translate to that.
Okay.
So if you're batting with a tail ender and there is 100 possibilities of edges, it will roughly decrease it by 5%.
Okay, 95% edge can happen. That's what you
Yep.
mean. Okay.
Yeah. So likewise for high striker, I have it at 30, which means whenever there is an edge possibility, out of 100, 30% of the time it will reduce
Reduce the
the edge,
edges.
and it will be it will translate as a shot rather than being an edge.
Okay, so do you think that high striker skill influence can have an effect on through the bat edges and stuff?
It does, it does, it
It
does,
does have.
and
Okay.
this one I feel has some relation with the miss skill influence, which we'll later
Ah,
discuss on.
okay.
So since they are both
Hmm.
regarding to that same
Okay.
criteria of skill.
Okay, cool. That is good one. I think in this there needs to be another one because high striker skill influence. I think middle order skill influence should also be there because high striker, the top order is not that great for many teams right now in test
Yeah.
matches. So middle order is like very strong. So maybe we can have low striker, high striker, middle striker kind of thing because middle order is kind of strong for many teams right now. Because many teams, if you see initially they lose 3 wickets, then it's like a good partnership created. Then the tailenders come in and whack for a few boundaries and get out. That's like that. The style for getting 240, 300 kind of scores these days for test matches especially. So maybe
Yeah.
somewhere we can try to add more things into it. But these two values are something which was never ever discussed by Big Ant because nobody knew what it did. So what Mani said made sense. So what we say are making sense. That's all. These are not like this is what it
Yeah.
is. So
Say like you're playing in a test match and you're frequently getting like 50 for 4 and 50 for 5, then you can try experimenting
with
increasing the
the
edges
edge
for
mark,
high
yeah,
striker.
exactly. So
And likewise, if you're bulking up on so many runs with tailenders, then you can try lowering the values for low
mm,
striker,
mm.
so that it will become a little bit harder to play with tailenders as it should, and it should become a little bit easier to play with top order batsmen
Yeah.
as it should.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't check, like I streamed India vs South Africa T20 recently, and since I have it at 5, the low striker, even the normal shots which should have connected on good length were not connecting for me, and it was missing, which I feel is an input like the striker influence being on 5 for low striker that had an effect on the tailenders not being able to connect. So it does seem to have an effect like for the tailenders especially to make the tailenders bat like tailenders, which we
Yeah.
always want. So for high striker, try to have it slightly higher. I have it at 5 because I'm crazy, but for Money has it at 30. You can try to
Yeah.
increase it even
I
to
used to have it
50.
at 25, but
Yeah,
since I have reduced a little bit of other values, I have increased it
yeah.
to 30 now.
So you can try it at 50 as well and see whether it has an effect, or even 100 and see, go crazy and try it on 100 and see what it does.
I think the default for hard is 45, so you can try it from there and
Yeah.
reduce it from there on.
So one thing I wanna like I'm thinking about right now is if I play it on 100 and I have the edges values a lot, would that
Mhm.
mean I'll get genuine edges? This is something I should
That
try out.
that is only a fanboy theory that you can come up with.
Yeah, we should try that out and see. Okay. So timing window is the next one. Timing window, as you guys might not know, I think it was Deep Cricket 19 or Ashes
19.
Cricket
Yes.
19.
Cricket 19. I think.
Okay, where they changed the timing window to they made it very fast, and
Yeah.
you had to respond way early to get ideal timing, which many people are not comfortable with at all, and that they wanted to change it in a way that people can adapt to playing the shot late but actually executing the shot better to make it go to the boundaries and stuff. So for
This is
that,
like that one value which we got like pace visual speed. This is like that
oh,
one value.
exactly. So
So
basically what happens
after
is
one touch, they increase.
this is the timing window. Before it used to be early, so you had to time it early to get the ideal. Now it's moved to here where you can wait for the ball and play when it comes to you. So 100 means you can play late, you can make the ball come to you and you can wait and play. If you want the ball to rush to you and you want to play it early, you are that good, then try to move to 0 and play. Or you can try out other values as well, but recommended is 100 for sure. There is no,
I mean, this one, if you're getting like lots of early or okay and getting
Yeah,
out like that, then I think you can reduce it to 95 or 90. Then
exactly.
it will make sure that all your
You
early or okay shot will be
will get
translated as ideal.
adjusted to ideal. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you can
So,
try that
but
out.
again, like we said, when you have the values higher on pace, you are eventually
Yep.
bound to play it late.
Yeah.
So that's where we are at. So for us, 100 is like the ideal value because we can't change to lower values because we have the high values higher. That's all.
Most of
So,
the times in higher difficulty players like us,
hmm,
most of the dismissals will be on late or late miss kind of
exactly,
scenarios.
exactly,
We won't be like early miss only when the bowler is bowling like a slower ball, then we will get that. Otherwise,
exactly.
most of the time it will be late or late miss kind of scenario.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
there's no point in reducing this one for
Exactly,
us.
exactly. So again, if you are someone who wants to balance it out by reducing the values, the skill set and everything, try to experiment with this. But for us, it's 100. Okay. So if you want to reduce it, try to go to 90, 80 or something. Going beyond lower than 50 might get into trouble because you might not be able
You
to
might
execute
go
the
into
shot properly.
DBC 14 kind of premeditation
Exactly, where
level.
you are guessing the shot and you are not playing to the merit of the delivery. So that is the only thing
See
which will
ball,
happen.
see ball, play a shot and pray it, it comes
Yeah,
like kind of
exactly.
scenario.
Exactly. Because in DBC 14, if you remember, you can even hit a Yorker of back foot. So
Yes.
that can happen in that, not in cricket 22. So
DBC 14 was so premeditated that 90% of the players used to play the advanced shot
exactly.
irrespective of where the
And the
ball is gonna
grounded
pitch.
shot was really good in that.
Yeah.
So which just eventually left the game. Don't know why, but yeah, that happened. So aggressive shot, power boost, you use it or not, and what it
Yeah, I
does.
do use it. I have it at 20
Yeah, he
for
uses the
test.
aggressive shot quite few
Yeah.
times because over pitched balls, his eyes lights
It
up.
has to travel for me.
His eyes lights up and he's like, I want to hit that. So
Over pitch and full tosses, I just have to travel in my book,
exactly.
so I have it at 20. I don't play it often, so that's another thing you have
Yeah.
to balance it out. If you're
I
playing
mean,
on shorter formats, then you can try it at 20 or 25 like that,
mm,
and see if you're hitting too many sixes, then you can try reducing, and if you're hitting too less, then you can try increasing it likewise.
okay, what's the difference between this one and power boost? Do you have anything difference?
This one directly affects the
Normal.
L2 shot. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
L2.
okay, okay, okay.
Power boost, I think it is or for it is
For
like a
across all
base
the
for all
shots.
shots.
Ah, okay, okay,
This
cool.
one directly affects the lofted shots.
Cool, cool, cool. So the one value which actually made difference, changed lives, guys, changed lives for many people, and I really got good comments from you guys about this one value which actually made the game changing moment, which happened because of this guy speaking with us. So money, miss input influence, take it.
Okay, this one I used to have it at 95, 100. I used to play it on those values, during the middle phase of the game. And then once I thought of trying it at zero, since I didn't try it at zero for a long time since cricket 19. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't try it on zero on this game. So
Mm-hmm.
on one fine day, I just got that idea from one post saying that he was not getting genuine misses and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
that sparked me to try this value at zero
Mm-hmm.
again. And I played it like 50 or 100 overs. Then those were the best 100 overs that I played in this game up until that point. So
Mm.
I was convinced that this was gonna work, and I was happy to see all the others also agreeing on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So the credit goes to him for that because when he told me about this value, I was like, dude, I mean, leave, dude. This game is not gonna work for us,
Yeah.
kind of a mentality. But then one time I felt like playing cricket. As you guys know, I always have that thought of playing cricket game consistently, regardless of how much it frustrates me. So one day I started a game and I was like, okay, money set this value, let me try it out. And when I tried it out, I started piercing the gaps so well that it was going to the input I was giving. Because when you read the description, increasing the strider will increase the required quality of the shot to hit the ball. So I was like, okay, if I play it on 100, I'll become like a Virat Kohli, where I can play the shot properly with all the proper leaning to the delivery, with proper footwork and everything. I was in that mind, not thinking about big and created this game. So because of that, I was like, maybe I should try it out on 0, and it actually made a lot of difference. This actually will change the game forever for you, because you can even pierce those smallest of gaps between two fielders, which is insane in a game. I think even in real cricket you can't do that well.
Yeah, this value, I concluded it after a while, since I used to be in a dilemma, and like I used to play on my own set of values and get like 2 matches and 5 bad matches.
Yeah.
Then I will try Rumpel's values. Then I'll be like, something is different in this, but I am not quite able to point it out which. But only on that one fine day, I thought this one is drastically different on mine and his value. I think he has it like 20 or 16, something like that. I think he has.
Okay.
So I was like, what if we tone it down all the way to 0 and see what it does, and bam.
By the way, guys, Mani was mentioning about Rumpel, who is a guy who is another guy who does lot of these stuffs in PC forum. If you see, he has a separate thread for all the slider values, and he adds everyone's slider value into that thread as well. So if you guys want to check out different conditions, slider setting and everything, you can go check out PC forum as well. Yeah, because he actually wants to get the time in and try to make the effort of getting the game to a level where different conditions means different slider settings, and different slider settings mean different kind of gameplay you get out of it. So that is something you should check it out, because so many people have come up with different sliders for different conditions and stuff. And yeah, sometimes you might feel like it is easy, it is difficult. So try to balance it out to your own liking, because that is eventually the most important thing when you play a game. But the values they have done actually is very good. One thing is, I think Mani suggested me the English conditions slider settings, which was really good, because I am a guy who just times the ball very frequently. I'm like getting 5 runs, 6 runs per over, even a test match, which makes him frustrated. I don't know why, but in that conditions, I was scoring at around 1 or 2 runs per over, because it was that good. So they try to balance values.
They have a good base for all all kind of varied situations.
Exactly.
I think so I tuned it just a little bit here and there for that English conditions that he referred to now.
So try to see these values, try to refer that values, and try to balance them out, so that you can make the game to your own liking. That's the only thing you have to remember, because people have the the sliders for those conditions specifically and to their preference as well. So it depends on what you want to do with the game for the certain conditions. So skill influence, miss input.
This one I feel all the way up to 100 is the better one, I feel, since it directly affects how much skill the player has on missing the ball. I have tried it on 0 and I have tried it on 100, and on 0 I feel it is like misinput at 100. All the shots are going irrespective of me judging the line or length. It will just go like tonk tonk tonk. So I feel increasing this value, like I think 70 or 60 would be a good starting point for all.
70, 60,
and you can increase it. And you can increase it as you progress on the game.
Also guys, this is misinput. No, it's not shot making influence. It's a misinput. Basically means where you will miss the ball based on the input. So the input also plays a major role in this, but this also plays a role in you being able to pierce the gaps properly. So what comes into play in that, nobody knows, but this actually causes a lot of changes in the gameplay just by going from the default 20 to 0. Simple change, but lot of difference. So this is misinput. So missing the shot. What I have seen personally is the batsman holding their stance for most of the instances. So one thing I would add is the game is really well done for the offside shots. where mostly the batsman holds their stance. So batsman holding the stance was worked on Cricket 22 very well by the team at Big Ant, because when I was when I am testing out the game, they came up with this, and this actually made lot of really good change, because I wanted this thing to happen since Ashes cricket. So they came up with this, and they just really worked on not making the batsman slide and play the shot, and actually holding the stance, which comes into effect a lot more effectively with the misinput being on 20. And hence, when the ball is there in the slot and you are able to reach to the ball, you are playing a proper shot, and the shot is traveling very well in the gap as well because of that. So this one slider has effect on so many things while batting.
Because
Similarly,
it literally translates to all the sliders that we have tinker, that is one word, input.
exactly. So input, what you give is what you get. That's all. Simple. When you increase it, what basically happens is the game will decide where the shot will go. So
Yeah, it will compensate basically.
you will basically see it to be like a standard version of pro controls, where the shot is being played in a certain direction, but the game has decided no, the ball will go only here, because the input is on 100. That's all. So 0 perfect, 100, that is your choice. So skill influence, like he said, 100 is also fine, but starting point good on 70. I think I have that 70 or 80, something like that.
Yeah.
But he recommended to go for 100 for me. Maybe I'll try it out in the future. So with regards to fielding, we are not going to go into it, because I use auto fielding, and Money uses semi-auto. If you want these things to have an effect while playing, just balance it out based on what you want the fielding to do, because the radius at which it comes, if it is on 0, then you will see it very late, that you have to get to the circle to catch the ball very fast. So those things I am not into it at all, because I don't like fielding in general. All these values, just check it out yourself. Okay.